Welcome to the Great Basin Smoke Dispersion Briefing for Friday, October 25th. Over the last 2 weeks, we've seen precipitation again over the northern half of the Great Basin, and this precipitation has still been generally below normal for the time of year. However, very dry conditions have continued over the rest of the southern half of the region. Looking at new snowfall over the last 72 hours, we've had just some light snowfall in the far north, otherwise no new precipitation across the area, and our snow depths is definitely tied to the northern tier of the region. Looking at our current snow depth is above normal across Idaho and Wyoming and far northern Utah and northeast Nevada for the time of year, and generally below normal elsewhere across the Great Basin. Looking at our Evaporative Demand Drought Index, showing our drought over the last month, you can see with the drier conditions we've seen over southern areas of the Great Basin, this is where we are seeing our most significant drought conditions, especially over the eastern and southern half of Utah. Our satellite image from this morning shows a ridge of high pressure still dominating the Great Basin, keeping temperatures above normal with dry conditions for today. However, that will be changing here in the coming days. As we look at our weather later this afternoon, again, fairly quiet conditions, high pressure, sunny skies, and generally light winds. Therefore, we will have fairly poor dispersion across all areas of the Great Basin. You can see the wind image on the left showing those light winds. We are starting to see winds pick up in the far northern part of the picture here over central Idaho and more into Montana and northern Oregon, and that is out ahead of a cold front that will be dropping down this weekend. Mixing heights are generally in the low to moderate range. On Saturday, you can see that cold front drop south into Idaho and into far northern Nevada and northern Utah and Wyoming, and this will also allow winds to increase, so dispersion will be increasing across the area. Wind gusts will generally be between about 25 and 35 miles per hour out ahead of this cold front over the northern areas of the Great Basin and along the higher terrain of Utah. Mixing heights will also be increasing in the mid to high range. On Sunday, that cold front sweeps down through the entire portion of the Great Basin. Temperatures will be dropping significantly. Where temperatures have been near to above normal recently, we will see highs drop to 10 to 20 degrees below normal. We'll see valley highs across much of Utah, Idaho, and even into northern Nevada into the 40s with lows in the 20s. We will still have some good post-frontal winds, therefore dispersion will remain elevated on Sunday. You can see those winds behind the cold front generally gusting between about 20 and 30 miles per hour and a little bit lighter up over northern portions of the Great Basin. Mixing heights will remain relatively high. Looking at the forecast clearing index for Utah, you can see clearing indices today are fairly low with those lighter winds, but really increase more dramatically as we move towards Saturday and Sunday and that cold front moves through. Overall forecast amounts of precipitation, you can see with that cold front, any precipitation will be in the north across Idaho, Wyoming especially, and into far northern Utah, and most of this will be falling in the form of snowfall, especially in the mid to high elevations, but even in some valley locations. As we move into early next week, we have another cold front dropping south on Monday. This will keep temperatures cool over the eastern half of the Great Basin. Also keep winds breezy, therefore we'll have better dispersion in the north and the east on Monday, and a little bit lighter winds with poor dispersion over western and southern areas of the Great Basin. On Tuesday, that cold front is now sliding down to the southeast, where we have a ridge of high pressure rebuilding off the west coast. On Wednesday, fairly quiet conditions. We do have that ridge starting to build, so we will see warmer temperatures, lighter winds, and generally poor dispersion region-wide, and that will continue on Thursday. Overall forecast amounts of precipitation, this takes us up from Monday through Wednesday, showing that next cold front dropping down, bringing additional precipitation to, again, mainly northern Utah, Wyoming, and Idaho. The 8 to 14-day outlook, which takes us into the early part of November, shows cool temperatures and dry conditions. This is more indicative of those dry cold fronts dropping down from the north, but right now we're not seeing much significant precipitation, at least through the first week in November. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back on Monday for the latest updates.